And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We just wrapped up with Hero versus a Laser in a spicy series. Oh my god. We had a little bit of everything. We had some all-ins and some aggression and more all-ins. No standard play. But that's what we have here for you, because we are getting into our final best of 3 of the night, the final best of 3 of the group stage of Masters Coliseum 6, to determine who comes in second and who comes in third in Group B. Both players will advance on into the playoffs, but the standings are still not secure. It's going to be a TvZ between Clem and Reynor. Oh, let's go, Papi. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Give me my ZVT. Oh. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Zurich player representing Team Basilisk. It is Reynor. And I appreciate that Reynor is no longer smudging. The hoodie is down, but maybe it should go up, because Clem does have a cheeky SCV out on the map. Interesting here. So we have 1 Rax back at home, and we're going to have 1 Rax across the map. Oh boy. Okay, so I was about to go into a tirade about how Clem, he's I'm assuming this is a Rax across the map, by the way. We'll see if he does wait for the Rax to finish. No, there we go. Beautiful. I was gonna go into a tirade talking about how Clem was playing a lot of mech earlier today. He did it against a Laser, and we may even see it against Reynor, and I stand by that throughout the course of this series. It may come to pass, but for now, we're spicing things up here with a pseudo proxy 2 Rax. Again, because it's 1 at home and 1 across the map, there is a lot of aggressive potential here for Clem, don't get me wrong. He can be very assertive with this, but it's not overly committed. He can transition out of this very seamlessly, as the first Reapers are on the way. Meanwhile, Reynor going for a hatch gas pool opener. Nothing too crazy. He didn't prioritize gas mining either. And I wonder if this is going to be a tell. The Overlord dips in and does confirm 1 Rax back at home, but where's the second Rax? That is a little bit off. And especially with Clem confirming as well that there is no CC yet, Clem should recognize that something is amiss, should be getting ready back at home. Third base is soon to be taken. Queens are on the way, Lings as well. And we'll see what damage Clem can get done, as he is dipping into the main. We'll be bypassing the Queens for now, going into that mineral line. Lings are in position, but the second Reaper has arrived, and this is designed to snowball a little bit out of control. Lings are going to be falling, but so far the drones do survive. Oh my god. Very quick Evo chamber, walling off those Reapers. Going to be preserving some of the drones, but 1 drone does go down. And we are not stopping. We have a 3rd and 4th Reaper in production for Clem. 3rd Reaper about to join. 4th Reaper now rocking up as well. I think we're going to be stopping here at 4. Looks like from here, Clem should be making his way back home. Oh, but he does delay the 3rd base of Reynor by quite a bit. Link speed is on the way. Once Link speed kicks in, Reynor should be able to maintain control of the map and force Clem out of here. Oh! But before that happens, Clem, he wants the Queen! He wants it! He's gonna get it. The Queen goes down. Link speed still a ways off. And Clem will get out of the main. Oh, a rough loss here for Reynor, especially considering that there is no 3rd base. Because of this massive delay, losing Queens, it's dire. And another Queen is looking to be very exposed. But Link speed is now done. And Reynor can clean this up. He pins the army back. He gets 2, he gets 3 of those Reapers. And only 1 will live to tell the tale. But a lot of damage was done. We got some drones, we got some Queens. Back at home, the SimCity is a little bit haphazard, but it's getting up and running. We are getting into our 2-on-1, 3cc 2-on-1 at that, as Clem is being very economic behind this. He has a full wall off, and Reynor shouldn't be able to do too much about this. He has Lings, sure, but there are units behind this wall, so the add-ons should be safe. As Reynor is just trying to get a read on things. Oh my god. He was waiting for the add-on swap, but alas, Clem was able to land just in time and is now working on Stin. Back at home, Reynor, not in the best economic position. A big reason for this is because of how delayed this third has been. But he's looking to recoup his losses, going into Roaches. Interesting choice here by Reynor. Roach Warren is thrown down. We have been seeing a lot of Roach play out of a lot of Zerg players in general in this matchup, whether it's Serral, of course Dark, Reynor as well. Could be playing this very safe. As safe as he can be. Oh, and Clem, thankfully this time is playing Bio. I've had enough of Clem's mech for one day, but you know, in saying that, he may be bringing it out in later on in the series, whether it's game 2 or game 3. Thankfully this time, Bio. Tanks are getting in position, and third base is soon to be upon us. As Reynor is investing very early on into these Roaches. 7 Roaches in production. We already have a tank on the high ground though, so I don't know how well a Roach push could do at this time. Again, it's just to defend, just to secure ourselves. As Stim is about to finish up, and Clem is hitting the field. Oh, the Queens, they don't have enough energy for Transfuse. But the Roaches arrive. The Roaches have arrived. Clem gonna have to rotate around looking for another way in. Does get eyes on the 4th. As well as the Roaches, of course. Now Clem is aware that there's a potential for a Roach timing with 1-1. But Reynor could be hyper-aggressive with that. Really good positioning and good use of this cliff. You see Clem able to overcome those lings. Does lose a Marine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, lose 1 Marine for 8 lings. A good trade for Clem. Oh, as he's stimming on 40, he wants to try to catch some of these Queens. Up! He will get 1. Not just 1, he gets a 2nd Queen as well. A tumor, and can he force a cancel? It looks like he will not. As Reynor holds on to his 3rd. Sorry, holds on to his 4th. Clem going toe-to-toe with the Roaches. Almost gets what he will get every single Roach here. 3 Roaches. He gets a 4th. Even forcing the use of the Transfuse. And this drop is getting out of hand. Finally, the reinforcements arrive and Clem is forced out. But that was such a valuable trade here. Getting 2 Queens and 4 Roaches for only a handful of Marines. And it looks like Reynor is going for a longer game. Sure, he has 1-1 on the way, but he's taking his gases. He's saturating his 4th. He has an infestation bit on the way as well for investors. So Reynor isn't going to be looking to hit a big Roach timing anytime soon. I don't expect him to, anyway. As the drop play isn't done, we saw how much damage Clem can get done with 2 medevacs. What about with 4? He has another 2 on the left-hand side. The creep is looking really good here for Reynor. Clem, I'm sure, is aware of that, so he's going to try to deal with as much of that creep as he can. Roaches are in position, waiting for the push. Clem is being forced back. Likewise, Roaches also in position in the main. And we do have those safety infestors coming out from Reynor. For those wondering what Roaches lack, especially in a longer game against Bio. Oh my god, there's more Roaches on target fired. Jesus. But what Roaches lack is splash damage. You know, that's why Banelings are so useful against Marine Marauder. And that's where the Infestors come into play. Infestors and their fungal growths. So they will keep Reynor safe from these big Bio pushes. Speaking of, Clem is pushing out across the map. He's throwing down a 4th CC behind this, so he's not all in. Oh, but he does force a cancel on the 5th. The army has arrived. The Infestors, they need a little bit more time. There are 2 of them, but they're not ready. We need a couple of seconds to gather energy. As there is not enough of fungal growth. Not yet. Oh! Now we do. We have 1 each. 2 fungals are available. The tanks are leapfrogging forward, getting within range of that base. Of the hatchery. Files do take down one of the tanks. Big fungal on the Marines. Is it going to be enough? As Clem is being forced back, the tanks are going down one after the other. But there was some really good target firing onto the Infestor. It looks like Reynor will survive. He deals with the army, and Clem drops into the main. He's still trying to get some more value out of these units. He's going to get a queen. 6, 7 drones go down. The queen survives, but for the price of 7 workers. And Clem is not done. Now, his tank count was reset. I would say that Clem is hurting a little bit here. There we go. He does send his tank back home. He cannot afford to lose it. But he's being so aggressive right now. Just keeping Reynor pinned back home. Oh, no! A bit of a misrally. The Marines are sent to their deaths. But the job on the left-hand side is still keeping Reynor busy. Keeping him occupied. And he has gotten away with this Hive. Hive is done. We have Vipers in production. We can even transition into Hydras and Lurkers from here. And I believe there is a Hydra Den. No Lurker Den yet. There it is. Oh my god. Reynor going for a double Lurker Den timing. Meanwhile, left-hand side. Oh my god, we just see a massive fungal on the Marines. Reynor doing a great job at keeping up with these drops. And teching into these Lurkers is really the big thing that he's missing. Can he get there in time? So far, he is keeping up. Clem still rebuilding his tank counts, making 2 tanks at a time. 3-3 on the horizon as well. Oh god, we do have enough energy for another fungal. We will connect with the Medivacs. Follow-up isn't quite there. But regardless, Reynor is buying so much time for the tech to finish, for the Vipers to gather energy, for the Hydras to come into play. And once the Lurkers arrive, Reynor is going to have a much easier time defending against these pushes. Things have been pretty intense. But again, Reynor has kind of stabilized from the early game. There it is. The Lunkers, they're on the way, Poppy. They are on the way. But Lurkers aren't amazing against mass tank. That's the thing. Like, Clem's army is still pretty formidable, is what I will say. Lurkers, they help. Really, it's the Vipers that are going to be the crucial units in this next fight. As Clem is just solidifying himself, throwing down sensor towers, getting more bases, slowly expanding, taking a 5th. Once again, a big fungal on these Marines. But both players are about to max out. And Clem does have a more efficient army. Unfortunately, Reynor, he's still stuck with a lot of Roach Ravager. He needs to slowly wean himself off of the Roaches into more Lingbane Hydra. Oof. He is working on it. Meanwhile, Clem is so heavily fortified. He's got sensor towers. The Venn diagrams are real. Turrets. Any kind of Nidus into the main is going to be difficult to pull off. And here we go. We were talking about how Reynor, he has to get rid of all these roaches, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going for a big roach run by. Obviously, he wants to trade, and he doesn't want to just throw them away, but, you know, they do need to die. The sad reality, as the roaches go down, we replace them with more Lurkers, more Lings. Oh, big snipes are going off, though. 2 Lurkers already go down. Oof. Likewise, we have a counter fungal, and we do manage to get 1 ghost. But these snipes are getting a bit out of hand. Reynor, he's down to 4 Lurkers. This is all he has. 4 Lurkers, now down to 3. He is building up a very large Ling army, now working towards Banelings. Baneling speed is done, but Clem, he's edging ever closer. And the Lurkers just haven't really been worth it. We raced our way into it, but yeah, the Ghosts, they have shut them down for the most part. He's going for those final snipes. And the last 2 lurkers go down, but here we go. We collapse on the army. The Lingbane comes in for a full surround. Big blinding clouds on the tanks. The lurkers may have died, but we have plenty more where that came from. Plenty of Lingbane. As we force Clem back. Oof. Another Vipers! Get out of here. But because there are no defensive lurkers, it does mean that when Clem pushes, Reynor has so much less to work with. Trying to get on top of these ghosts. Almost does. Lings take down 2 more tanks, and Clem has to back off, lick his wounds. As Reynor works on his upgrades, +3 on the way. More Banelings. More Hydras. We only have 1 Viper, unfortunately. Which is less than ideal. Got a big fungal on those ghosts. We only have that 1 Infestor as well. So not too many spellcasters. Reynor is mining pretty efficiently though. And he's being left alone towards the left-hand side. Yeah, once again, he's collapsing on these tanks. Overextending towards the end though. He does lose a lot of his Banelings. And yeah, here is the punish. The Vipers get sniped. The Hydras all get sniped. Ugh. Yeah, that fight was just not it for Reynor. He's going to lose a base, and he may lose more than that. Clem, he knows that momentum is on his side. As he's pushing on forward. The tanks leapfrogging. There are no Vipers remaining. No snipes. Sorry, no blinding clouds. And Reynor has to give up 2 hatcheries. His mining is still looking quite powerful here on the left-hand side, but this is a big win for Clem. Looks like from here he's going to back off. He should be rotating around and should be looking to threaten these bases here towards the left instead. There's still that 1 Infestor. You know, if we land a... Sorry, did I say 1? I meant to say 2 Infestors. 4 on the field. Now 3. But a juicy fungal growth can make a fight here for Reynor. He cannot pull it off. Now they're the ghosts just forcing the army back. No way for Reynor to deal with that. Again, his upgrades aren't ideal either, but here we go. We do have a flanking fungal. Does connect with the ghosts. Reynor taking a much better fight. He collapses on these tanks, takes down the Liberators, and he's rolling on forward, getting on top of the ghosts once again. From here, Reynor has to back off, though. We did have another secondary line of tanks. Oof. And Reynor, he does lose a little bit too much. It was a great initial fight, but it's so smart of Clem to just have multiple lines of tanks behind this, Liberators as well, where he can fall back. As he's taking another base. And Reynor, he has been struggling to remax. He's going for a big lurker transition, which can work well. He did kill a lot of ghosts earlier, and there aren't that many Liberators, but Liberator range is on the way. More ghosts in production. Unfortunately, Reynor, he just hasn't been able to do anything about the economy of Clem either. Snipes are going off. Oof. More lurkers going down. Speaking of not getting the economy, it looks like we do see Reynor coming in from behind. Another fungal on the ghosts. And these flanking fungals have been so good for Reynor. Is it going to be enough? Once again, we can see Reynor trying to snowball out of control. Does take down a lot of those tanks. Blinding clouds disrupting the AI. Oh, but these lurkers are so low. Oof. And 2 more go down. Clem remaxing with more tanks, with more Liberators. Like, the scariest thing right now is that Clem is the player with the bank, not Reynor. Like, it's usually the Zerg player that's outmining the Terran and is able to trade, able to afford to trade inefficiently. But that isn't really the case this game. Another big fungal. They'll take down a good portion of those ghosts, forcing Clem back to the safety of those Liberators. But the Liberators, they stand strong. The Lurkers go down. GG gets called. It's just too much. And the Clem will take game number 1. GG, almost in full control of that game. We did have some pretty key moments. It was really cool to see Reynor multiple times coming in from the sides with those fungal growths. He was able to catch ghosts pretty often, to be honest. It was really impressive that he was able to pull that off. But again, he didn't have the best economy. He wasn't trading too efficiently either. He was having a really rough time engaging with the elevated points of Dragon Scales. We saw tanks, Liberators just always in amazing positions, just trading so well. And it just became too much. Too much in the end for Reynor to deal with. Especially after losing 2 hatcheries. After losing 2 bases so early on. GG. GG. But it's a best of 3. It is a best of 3. We can definitely fight back. We can bring this all back here. Game number 2 is going to be on Babylon. Now, I mentioned earlier that Clem is quite fond of mech, and for better or for worse, he does whip it out quite often in these series. Does he do it here in game 2? He's ahead. He has room to work with. I don't think Babylon is the best map for that, though. I don't think it's a good map for mech. In some ways it is, I guess. I just worry because the rush distance is so short. We have seen Reynor, especially if he catches wind that you're going into mech, he's not really one to be afraid of these big Roach Queen all-ins, you know, with Dropper Lords, with creep. Reynor, we've seen that multiple times from him. So we'll see. We'll see what Clem has in store for us. As we're getting into potentially the final game of the series of the night of the group stage. As a reminder, both Clem and Reynor are going to be able to make it out of this group. They're going to make it to the playoffs, but it's all about who comes in second and who comes in third. It's all about that seeding, all about those placements. Here we go. Now getting into our second game, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. 1 game away from taking the series. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Zerg player representing Team Basilisk. Down in this series, but not out. It is Reynor. Here we go again. Clem did spice things up earlier in game 1 by going for a proxy second Rex. Was able to get a queen, get drones, delay the third. Almost from the get-go, Reynor, he was trying to play catch-up. But this time, there is no SV on the map. Clem, he's just taking his Rex at home instead. Much more standard opener from our French Terran. Here we go. Likewise, Reynor going for a hatch gas pool. He has been known to mix things up and go pool first, even on Babylon, but we're going to be refraining from that for now. Now, everything's looking normal. Everything looking economic. Whew. Love to see it. Do love to see it. Again, Babylon, it's one of the smaller maps in the map pool with a shorter rush distance, especially when the rocks get knocked down. Can be very aggressive on this map. And despite Reynor being on match point, despite him being behind, like, he is one to potentially go for an all-in as well. He's not afraid. Is willing to do so if he sees an opportunity, if he sees a way to win. Oh, already. 2C, our first Reaper moving out across the map. CC on the low ground. And Reynor is taking his third base on time. You love to see it. Again, it was heavily delayed in game 1, but now he's going to have a much more comfortable timing with his third, as the Reaper does rock up. And the third is taken. And now the dance begins. Oh god! Oof, the dance begins, and Reynor once again will be losing a drone very early on. Not a great start here for Reynor. Reaper even looking to disrupt that tumor, but is going to be zoned away. Is going to be forced back. And Reynor can regain control of his bases, of his natural, of his main. And back at home, we do have a 3cc opener. Very economic out of Clem. 3cc into a starport. It looks like we won't see an add-on swap. As we should be seeing a tech lab on this Rax. Interesting. Okay. Tech lab now on the way. Meanwhile, Reynor back at home. Oh my god, he does lose that tumor in the end. A brutal tumor to lose. Clem just getting so much out of this first Reaper. Of course, Hellions are coming up behind this to reinforce. There's that add-on swap. It is going to be for Banshees. There you go. 3cc Banshee. The tried and true. The standard, Papi. The standard. Oh, it's beautiful. Lings are going to be busting into the main base, causing quite a lot of havoc. Good control with those SCVs. Doesn't lose any of them. Oh my god. Great positioning as well, despite nothing really being in position. Clem. I think he loses one. No, he doesn't lose anything. Oh my god. Looking at the units lost tab, he has lost 0 units. Ay, ay, ay. So a great defense here by Clem. Behind this, working towards his cloak. Reynor should be getting ready momentarily as well. Does have plenty of queens. No spores yet. Of course, he doesn't need them. Not for another couple of moments. Helen's going to be rotating over towards the left-hand side. We have the Banshee heading towards that third base, but it is going to be intercepted. Good positioning here from Reynor. Likewise, he has queens to keep up with the Hellions. Reynor so far having a solid defense, but he cannot transfuse. And a queen goes down. Meanwhile, oh my god. I was not expecting that, but these queens here on the right-hand side, they actually got a kill on the Banshee. The first Banshee was killed. It was this queen here on the right. So far, a great defense from Reynor. Sure, he lost the queen, but worth it here for shutting down that first Banshee. Behind this, we have our second Banshee. Third one is on the way. Interesting that we're investing into 3. And the spores, they finish up just in time. And Reynor isn't going to be losing much of anything. Back at home, Clem is getting his third up and running, getting into his 5 rack setup. Everything looking as it should. And things are going to be settling down from here. Thankfully, we're getting into bio play. Oh, beautiful. Working towards stim. Working towards additional Raxes. Meanwhile, we do have the Banshees head towards the main. We do have plenty of Overlords in position, so Reynor, he will see this ahead of time. We'll be able to shut this down. Yeah, the queens are already ready for it. And yeah, likewise, it isn't just Clem, but also Reynor. He's just focusing on droning, taking his bases, working on 1-1. Lair is on the way. Bit of a delayed lair, but as long as he doesn't lose too much, it's going to be worth it as 5 drones go down. Oh my god! These Banshees getting so much more than I thought they would. They even get a queen. Ay, ay, ay. Really good shuffling there with those Banshees, just reducing damage. Maintaining their HP, and he's even just shocking around the center of the map, looking for any stray tumors. Now we have that Baneling Nest on the way. Baneling speed is delayed because the lair was delayed. And that means that this first push is going to hit quite strong here. No tanks. We did go straight into mine production instead. The Hellions from the early game, they did survive. They're going to be morphed into Hellbats. And here comes the first push of Clem. But the creep is already at his doorstep. Creep going to be touching tips here with Clem. Big Ling counterattack is being set up here on the left-hand side. There are some units in position. Hopefully it's going to be enough. As Clem is focusing on his push. Massive Ling counterattack does run into reinforcements, but there aren't that many Marines. Widow Mines are going to be barred. Do we have any friendly fire? Oh! Oof. Not too much. 4 workers go down, but with the help of these Banshees, the Lings are going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, we can focus on the main push. Baneling speed is still a ways off. Oof. Without Baneling speed, we can spread. We can trade oh so well against them. But the Queens, they do hold strong. They're putting in a lot of work. As the Marines are looking to surround this army. Baneling speed still 10 seconds off. Up. 2-1. With Baneling speed finishing, Reynor should have a little bit more breathing room. Should be able to deal with this without too much issue. At the same time, a mine drop is coming in. Up. Clem wasn't looking. Does take some Banelings to the face. Likewise, Reynor isn't looking. Oh, and drones are going down. 9 workers. Soon to be at least 10. 10 workers go down. Reynor's economy is going to be hurting. Even one of those Widow Mines is going to be saved. But at least Reynor was able to get some damage done on the army. Meanwhile, another mine drop. No! Oof, a very delayed reaction. 25 drones in total. Ay. We can come back in once again with this one mine. Oof. And Clem, may have taken some Banelings to the face, but the mines have more than made up for that. As Reynor is attempting to transition into Lurkers. Lurker Den just finished. Hive about to finish up as well. This will give Reynor some breathing room. There we go. We have 2 Lurkers on the way. Seismic Spines in production as well. But there is a window. There is a window before we have too many Lurkers where Clem can still pull apart his opponent. For now, he's taking a more defensive position. He's just making sure he gets his 4th base fully operational. More sensor towers are on the way. Maintaining control of his 3rd. And the map is being cut in half. Oh. As Reynor's able to just barely avoid that mine. And yeah, from here, Reynor is going to be able to build up his Lurker count. Build up his Ling Bane. Wasn't quite in position, so a lot of these mine shot goes up. But a lot of these tumors are going to go down. Likewise, we have a double drop here towards the south. But Lurkers are waiting. Up. Oh god. Big volleys go off on those Marines. And Reynor is holding. And Clem is kind of accepting the game state. We are going to be slowing the game down. We have CCs on the way, tanks, planetaries, turrets. The game is going to be, can Clem get a 5th? Can he establish a 5th base? And can Reynor stop that from happening? As Reynor has full map control. Oh. Massive Ling Bane counterattack here towards the left-hand side. Likewise towards the right as well. Oh, Reynor is being caught off creep. And the Lurker falls. At the same time, we have a Lurker drop into the main. Reynor doing everything he can to try to pull Clem apart. There are 2 Lurkers in said main base. And Clem doesn't really have an answer to this yet. Turrets are on the way. Damage is slowly being done. We're even delaying those armories, and here we go. Reynor, he does dive on into that fourth. God, but the tank line, a little bit too powerful. Scan into the main, cleans up those lurkers. Oh my god! As borrowed banelings are going to be going off. And Reynor will back off. A decent trade. He wasn't able to really slow down the economy of Clem, but he was able to trade against the army and even disrupt some of the production. That is enough to slow Clem down. Oh, game paused. As we are going to need a moment. Un momento. Oh, it's all good. As Reynor is going to need a moment here just to set some things up. All good. Maybe some settings. We are more than happy to wait for him. And it looks like any kind of issues have been resolved and we are getting back into game number 2. Oh, things are still pretty neck and neck. Now, Reynor does have map control. He has a lot of mining going on. His bank is getting larger and larger. He's taking more bases. Unlike the previous game, Reynor, he can afford to trade inefficiently. He can afford to throw away banelings and throw away lings in favor of the army or bases or planetaries. Reynor, he has the map control. That's what the lurkers did provide him. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be on Clem to try to vie for that map control and to establish another base. This 5th, it's going to be difficult. Going to be difficult to hold on to. Clem is going to be spreading himself even thinner between all of his bases. And Reynor has the opportunity here to try to punish that. Here we go. The creep already pushing up the ramp as well. Reynor getting ready for his assault. We've got a lot of banelings, a lot of lings, and even vipers. For those blinding clouds. Reynor looking to just engulf this position. Snipes are going to be going off, taking down some of those lurkers, but here we go. Reynor, he pulls the trigger. He's diving up the ramp, rolling into that planetary as well. There are just not enough ghosts on the ground. The SCVs are going to fall as well. And Reynor, he denies the 5th, and honestly, this is all he has to do. Ghosts are doing what they can, but even take down one more ghost towards the end. 13 SCVs full. We were neck and neck in terms of supply, and you can see Clem just plummet down at 50 supply. And Reynor, he can do this all day. Just has to remax, rebuild, and come in again. That's exactly what he does. Takes down another tank. Has to be careful not to come in prematurely. He's going to back up. He needs another wave of banelings, and there we go. 27 banelings in production. Lurkers being a nuisance. Shout out to the transfuses from the low ground, but not enough. Not enough to keep it alive. And again, all Reynor has to do, punish that 5th. Over and over again. We have one Viper left. So not too much energy for Blinding Clouds, but here we go. We are collapsing on this location. Big EMP on the Vipers. But the banelings are zoning those ghosts away. And Reynor, he takes down the planetary. And from here, Reynor, he backs off. He has to make sure he doesn't lose too much here in the counterattack. Does lose a queen. But we have 40 lings in production. Hydras, banelings. Viper is still alive as well. And as Clem takes another 5th, this time it's an orbital. Clem getting a little bit desperate here. No more planetaries. We're down to orbitals instead. It is slowly getting back up and running, but Reynor has remaxed, and we should be seeing another push here at the 5th. And as long as he can keep this going, as long as he can keep denying the 5th base, then he is going to be able to maintain control of this game and try to force the ace match. Oh my god, once again, the tank's getting annihilated. This time, even more banelings roll into the mineral line. 24 SCVs go down. The orbital will survive, but the workers do not. At the same time, we have a lurker run by into the natural, disrupting the production. GG gets called. It's just too much. And Reynor ties up the series 1-1. We're going to game 3. GG. Let us go. We are going the distance. We're going all the way to the ace match. Again, Reynor having a lot of map control that game. And at a certain point, once the lurkers hit the field, Clem backed off. That basically forced Clem to completely back off. Had to turtle back at home instead. Got 4 bases, yes, but could not get a 5th base. That's kind of what the game turned into. It was whether or not Clem could establish a 5th CC. And if he could, then he would be able to not just max out, but also have a bank and use that as a staging ground to start working on the bases of Reynor. It was a really crucial moment for that game, and Reynor was aware of it. Reynor was aware of it, and yeah, his win condition just deny the base over and over again. Now we're getting into the ace match, into game 3. Oh my god. Oh no. It's Neo-Humanity. Oh, the humanity. No, we're not going to see the humans, Papi. I'm concerned. I'm scared. Are we going to see mech? Oh, we'll see. We'll see. A very defensive map is Neo-Humanity, and yeah, it wouldn't be the worst map for Clem to try to whip it out on. We'll see. We shall see. As we are going the distance. I'm catching up with the chat. Oh, I see. The Terran apologists are in the chat. Let's go. You're coping like Clem plays mech 2 times. He played mech earlier today. What are you talking about? Literally played mech today. Every time I cast Clem, he plays mech. Smooge. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. Oh no. Maybe he does it for me. Ay, ay, ay. And here we go. We are getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo-Humanity, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Zerg player representing Team Basilisk, tying up the series 1-1 in the last game. It is Reynor. Here we go. Oh, and here we go. The beginning of the end. Clem, you love to see it. Going to be going for a Rax here on the low ground. Ah, it's beautiful. The beginnings of Bioplay, as it's going to be a 2 Rax opener out of Clem. Going to be looking to take control of the map of the early game with these Reapers. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Papi. Let's go. Let's go. I see people in the chat. Sleep is for the weak. True, true. Mate, we've been casting Masters Coliseum every day for over a week. And as a result, I've been going to bed at like 5 a.m. Casting all night long. Every day. It's been killing me. It's fine. It's fine, as like the worst days are days like today where I think I only got 4 hours of sleep because I had to wake up for ESL Americas in the morning. So yeah, days where we have to cast in the morning, they're a little bit brutal. It was the same on Sunday where we had to cast the Tenacious Turtle Tussle in the morning as well. It was ay, ay, ay. But it's okay. We make do. We make do. We love it. We love it, Papi. We like it. It just means more StarCraft. Because I'm doing this, I'm actually very tempted to try to go for the hat trick and try my hand at doing ESL Asia into EU into Americas. Like, if we can do Masters Coliseum, yeah, we can do that. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Copium. It's tempting, though. It is tempting. As the first Reaper makes his way across the map, of course, the Overlord of Reynor does confirm the opening here that Clem is going for, as we are going to be working towards 3 Reapers. I stand corrected. Wait, what? Clem, he's not stopping Reaper production. It's a 2 racks opener, not a 3 racks, but he's just non-stop Reapers. Okay. And it looks like it's gonna pay off. He wants to force a cancel on this 3rd base. Reaper production is continuing. Behind this, we do have a 3rd CC on the way. Clem being very greedy, very economic as a follow-up. 3rd CC before factory. But with these additional Reapers, yeah, link speed is not close to being done. Queens can't really stop this, and we will force a cancel. The hatchery almost finished, but alas, it will not. Up! Okay, thank God. I was concerned we were going to maybe let it finish, but we do cancel, and Reynor is contained to 2 bases. Link speed is on the horizon. Before that happens, Clem, being a little bit greedy, he dives into the middle line. He wants drones! Oh my God, he does get 1. And he is able to escape just in time. Doesn't lose a single one of his Reapers. He gets the hell out of there. He went up to 4 Reapers. Oh, did lose 1, sorry. Did lose 1. Went up to 5 Reapers. And now Reynor's in a really rough position here. That was like a really delayed cancel on the hatchery and wasn't able to really do much else besides it. Didn't prioritize his gases or tech up in a different direction. And now he's just stuck here with a late 3rd. Meanwhile, back at home, we have a wall. We have a decent marine count. Reynor's hoping to maybe catch these Reapers. Is possible. As Clem already has his 3rd orbital. Yeah, and Reynor, he doesn't take the bait, thankfully. Doesn't chase those Reapers, otherwise he would have lost every single link to the Marines. But we do have a 3-1-1 setup. Factory only being used to morph in that reactor. And we are prioritizing those medevacs. Stim is on the horizon. Clem about to hit the field with his 2-1-1. And this is going to hit pretty early. Like, all things considered, considering it's a 3cc. Oh boy. We'll see if Reynor's going to be ready for it. Here we go. Clem is pushing out. Behind this, working on an eBay 1-1. Going to be working on tank production as well. Now, thankfully, Reynor does have an abundance of links to work with, and the queens are being brought to the front lines as well, so he should have everything he needs to hold on. This shouldn't get too out of hand. Good target firing on that tumor. Does force a pick up into the main base. The links are repositioning. They do get here in time. And this drop isn't able to do much damage at all. Not yet. Not yet. Behind this, Clem is just getting his 3rd base fully operational. Going to be saturating it. Is going to be dropping behind the mineral line. Does get a queen. Again, we cannot transfuse off of creep. And Reynor, sorry, Clem, I'm sure he's happy to see that the 4th, well, that Reynor didn't double expand. That would have been the other option for Reynor, is when he takes his 3rd, he just takes his 4th immediately. But alas, he's just now working on his 4th hatchery. And Clem is reinforcing. He's setting his 1st tank across the map. Ling run by gets cleaned up. Oh boy. And can Reynor hold on to this 4th? Now, Reynor, he prioritizes upgrades, so he has much faster 1-1, but that means he has delayed bailing speed. He will not have bailing speed here for this 1st push. Bailings are on the way. Clem trying to apply pressure here to this 4th. The tanks are in a, well, the tank is in a decent position, but it's quite far back. So I feel like Reynor should be okay. We can see he's even just working on rocks, getting ready for a big counterattack. And the queens themselves are holding strong. Yeah, Reynor, he's just going to ignore the army for the time being. Looking to catch some reinforcements. And he's getting ready for a surround. Clem does have a couple of Marines in position, but doesn't have too much to protect those tanks. As the hatchery is actually going to be going down. Reynor, he is going to be losing his 4th, is taking the center base instead. Now, if Clem can make it, if he can get back home, like in one piece, then he's going to be in a decent position. But here we go. Lingbane does go for a counterattack. Oh, forcing a cancel on the 4th CC. Meanwhile, Clem trying to force his way through, does get a queen. Gets a 2nd queen as well. He thinks about diving on the 3rd, but he will back off. Bathing speed is now done, and Clem is going to have to respect that. And he is still not turning back around. So does it refuse to? As Reynor is at least finally getting his 4th operational. Hive is on the way, 2-2 as well. Again, the upgrades of of Reynor are actually pretty far ahead. And he's going to have a pretty crisp 3-3 timing. Oh, let's go. As Reynor is finally setting up the surround. Does take down a good chunk of those Marines, and now he goes for the tanks. I do think that Clem just overstayed his welcome here. Stuck around too long. The tanks will fall. But despite that, Clem is still not done. He still has a lot of Marines active on the map. He has a secondary army here on the right-hand side. Going to be rotating over towards the 5th base of Reynor. Good target firing, but he's going to lose some Marines. Good denial of creep as well. There are just no active tumors here whatsoever. And Clem is actually going to be consulting his forces. He's bringing everything together. Again, no creep is really here to stop him. Does take down the rocks, and Clem is going to be establishing himself here, pushing towards the center base. Tanks are sieged, and there's not a lot of creep to work with. Oh, Reynor is in a really rough position. He tried to set up a surround, but he does back off. Yeah, and this hatchery is going to go down. As I say that, here come the Vipers. The tanks are bunched up. Massive blinding cloud. Power bombs on the Metamax as well. Oh my god. A big mine shot though, and it looks like does Clem have enough? He can keep this going. He can keep this pushing. Oh my god. As the mines did reset. And Clem doesn't want to slow down. Once again, massive mine connections. The Banelings have run out, and it looks like this hatchery is under threat. He can get on top of the Banelings. He gets on top of almost every Baneling. 3 of them will finish. 2 of them. 1. Decent connection, but it's not enough. And it looks like Reynor has been broken. The hatchery falls. And Clem has done it. We have a couple of Vipers coming in. We have Lings coming in as well, but there are no Banelings. Oh my god. The mine shots are insane. And I thought maybe Reynor would be able to stabilize, but the lack of creep spread really did kill him in the end. He just could not stop the siege, could not stop the push. It looked like Reynor was anticipating a push on the right-hand side instead. But alas, there was none. Reynor trying to bring himself together here. He does preserve his Vipers. He's got more Banelings on the way. But Clem has free reign. He can rotate over to the right-hand side. He's got his own 4th up and running, working on his 5th. Clem does have the better economy right now. And if Reynor survives, he can come back. Yo, let's go. We have some Borrowed Banelings. Borrowed Banelings will be a good way to come back. Up! Oh my god. Massive connection on the Marines. Now, if we can do that again. As Clem moves in on the left-hand side. Reynor out of position. Hatchery is being targeted down. The mine shots. Ooh, some friendly fire. Decent mine shots on the Lings. Again, Reynor, he is holding. But it's still just a little bit too much. Another drop comes in on the right. Takes down the queens, takes down the drones. Clem is just snowballing out of control. The Widow Mines are about to reset. Reynor, he is stabilizing. He is forcing Clem back. Did Clem overextend? Nah. No, the rally just doesn't stop. The reinforcements don't stop, but the scan does reveal the borrowed banelings. Clem is not slowing down. Oh my god. Once again, another big Widowmine shot. Yeah, and the banelings, they crash into Marauders of all things. Despite the amazing mine shots we had earlier, the baneling mines, I should say. Once again, borrowed banelings up. Let's go. Big connections, mate. Reynor, he is fighting his heart out, pulling out every trick in the book to survive. And he's doing it. He's surviving. Barely. Chasing down whatever he can. Ultras have hit the field. Kindness plating about to finish up alongside +3. As Reynor's able to get this 5th base up and running, was able to maintain control of his 4th as well. Honestly, these are bases that should have died, but they didn't. Oof. A big power bomb on these medevacs. The medevacs are going down. And Clem, a little bit of an overextension there, but at the same time, a massive mine drop on the right-hand side. Oh, Reynor will lose his entire mineral line. It looks like that's why Clem was staying in those power bombs. He was just focusing on the mine drop instead. Was it worth it? Maybe. I mean, he does kill a lot of workers, but he did lose a lot of medevacs. Bit of a give and take. The borrowed banelings. This time not quite connecting. If he's able to oh god! The banelings from behind. Decent connections. But the ghosts have arrived. We do snipe one of those ultras. Yeah. Ultras, they do not hold a candle against those ghosts. The hatchery finally goes down. Oh my god. How many lings died to Widowmines this game? Look at the Innislaughter tab. Over 500 lings have gone down. 548. Ay, ay, ay. And as Reynor is struggling to deal with this army, we have a second army on the right-hand side. This hatchery was left low earlier, and finally it's going to get sniped. It should be. Reynor is being starved out. The hatchery falls. The ghosts are saved. And Clem has an insane economy behind this. He's been left alone the entire game. He has a 5th. He has a 6th. Meanwhile, Reynor is barely on 4 bases. Barely. He's double expanding to try to recover. Again, borrowed banelings are his best chance at coming back in this game. But Clem is wise to it. He scans. As Reynor goes for a desperate, massive link counterattack. With their reinforcements back at home, the link counterattack does nothing. More ultras are on the way. Big snipes coming in. Oh, the Vipers go down. Losses that Reynor cannot afford. Oh, we do have a borrowed infestor. we could see like a clutch fungal. But even then, we need more than just a fungal. As Clem is just looking to deny another one of these hatcheries. That's a kill, not a cancel. Oh, a big link counterattack. This time does bust into the natural and the main. This will do damage. Will get damage done. Here comes the infestor. Big fungal on the ghosts. Oh my god. And the ghosts all get shut down. A good trade for Reynor. He's also picking up reinforcements. Like Reynor, he's suddenly trading pretty efficiently. Gets into the middle line as well. 14 SCVs go down. Reynor does have momentum. He can maybe kill this planetary. I don't think he can get more than that, but he's going for it. Takes down the reinforcing Marines. Planetary is barely going to go down. It cost Reynor everything he had to make that happen. The mines reset. No! Oof. Taking down the Ultras. It's still not enough, though. Like, very impressive that Reynor was able to shut down those ghosts and take down a base. That was 13 ghosts. They just went down. Even catching reinforcements, but it is still not going to be enough. It's just too little too late at this point. As Clem is suffocating Reynor, just denying bases over and over again. Oh, big EMP on the Vipers. No blinding clouds, no power bombs. Infestors are coming in for a big fungal, but I don't even think there's enough to follow up that fungal. Not enough Lings, not enough Ultras. There it is, we do fungal the main army. But there's not enough Zerg, too much Terran. The center base goes down, GG gets called, and Clem will take the series 2-1, claiming that second spot. GG. Oh my god. That was an intense game, an intense series. Did go back and forth, and Reynor had a more dominant performance in Game 2, but here in Game 3, Clem started things off so aggressively. If you remember, he went for a 2-Rax opener, went up to 5 Reapers, and just like that, he denied the third base, contained Reynor to 2 bases for so long, and with that follow-up push, was just continuing to deny base after base, keeping Reynor on the back foot. The power of neo-humanity. Again, the rush distance by ground is very short. Reynor was trying to go for counterattacks. He was trying to go for one-buys, trying to alleviate some of that pressure and force Clem back home, but Clem refused. And he was able to keep up for the most part. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to our 3 qualified players. You can see that here on the screen. We have Hero in first place, Clem in second, and Reynor in third. So even though Reynor lost that series, he was able to make it through. You can see how close it was. Reynor, Creator, and Firefly, all with 2 wins. It came down to the map score. Came down to the map score in the end, and Reynor was able to just barely edge his way through. Just because he just, had a better map score overall, thankfully. Forcing more ace matches than some of the other players. And yeah, GG, congratulations. Again, it was a very close group in the end, very close. But Reynor made his way through, and it's really cool to see one of each race. Protoss, Terran, and Zerg, one of each do make it out of Group B. And with that, that is the conclusion of the group stage of Masters Coliseum 6. You can see all the qualified players. In Group A, we have Serral, Maxpax, and Maru. Group B, Hero, Clem, and Reynor. Group C, Beyond, Ragnarok, and Solar. Group D, Cure, Dark, and Lambert. Oh, the best of the best. The best of the best were a part of this event, and we saw a couple of upsets. A couple of big names will not be making it through. Players like Creator, Laser, Showtime won't be making it through. Gumiho, the ESL Masters runner-up. Hero Marine, Spirit. Again, the group stage was brutal, but, it is what it is. It's a competition at the end of the day, and you have to be on form on the day to make it out. And these amazing players will comprise the playoff bracket. I don't think they're going to see the bracket now. I think it's going to be posted onto social media over the next couple of days. But we'll stick around. We'll see if they have a graphic for us. We'll see if they've already... Nah, okay, they haven't. We're all good. We're all good. So keep an eye out on Twitter and on Team Liquid and on Reddit and all that stuff. I'm sure the playoff bracket will be posted once it is ready in a couple of days. As a reminder, we have been casting Masters Coliseum every day for the last week, but now we can take a break from Masters Coliseum. We can take a moment to ourselves, but we're still going to be casting every day. I believe the playoffs are going to be next week. So the players, they have a break and they can take some time to rest and recuperate and recover. But not us, not the casters, because tomorrow, in less than 24 hours, we're going to be casting the Korean StarCraft League SummerSlam qualifiers. The KSL SummerSlam qualifiers are tomorrow. It's going to be a 3-day event. The qualifiers are tomorrow. We have the playoff brackets the day after, and then the finals the day after that. So 3 days of Korean StarCraft. We got you covered starting tomorrow. Oh, let's go, Poppy. Let's go. After the KSL, there's even more StarCraft. After the KSL SummerSlam, over the weekend, we have World Team League. You may be wondering, wait, didn't we just conclude WTL? Didn't we just finish World Team League? We did. And we have a couple of weeks break. And this weekend is the qualifiers for the next season, for winter, for WTL Winter 2023. So a bunch of new teams have been formed. A bunch of teams have been bolstered in their rosters. You know, Twisted Minds picked up a bunch of players. We did see Platinum Heroes pick up a bunch of players, and we have some new teams going to be facing off there in those qualifiers. We'll be casting that after the KSL finals on Saturday. And of course, WTL goes into Sunday, and I believe into Monday as well. Yes, into Monday as well. So a 3-day event of WTL. And then right after WTL ends on Monday, starting Tuesday, that's when Masters Coliseum picks up. So the StarCraft doesn't end. Does not end. So because we're casting every day, we're doing replay casts of Home Story Cup and of GSL, but we're going to be putting those on hold. We're going to be putting those replay casts on hold just because we have live broadcasts every day. And we'll be coming back with those replays starting, I think, in 2 weeks. Once we have a couple of days free, we'll bring back the replay cast. We'll bring it back. But regardless, GG, well played. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Hope you guys enjoyed the marathon of StarCraft that we had over the past couple of weeks. And yeah, it doesn't end. Does not end. So stick around. Consider following us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Discord server as well. So if you're interested, you can follow us on all things CranKy Ducklings, as we are live every single day. Oh, every day, Poppy, every day. King of the Hill. I believe there is going to be a King of the Hill, but I think it's casted by Wardy. I think Wardy is going to be covering King of the Hill. So he's got you covered there for this week. Meanwhile, you can also follow myself if you are interested. You can follow myself at light_VIP. I stream over on my personal channel. It's been like a week since my last stream. I just haven't had the time, unfortunately. We've been busy casting, and it's been a pretty busy casting schedule. So do apologize for that. But regardless, you can follow me there if you're interested. I'm going to be live maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. These next couple of days, I'm going to have a little bit of extra free time, so I may be able to stream, maybe able to ladder. Otherwise, if you're only interested in our casting, CranKy Ducklings, all things CranKy Ducklings. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the KSL SummerSlam. Until then, thank you for watching. Adios. Bye. Hasta luego.